Okay.
And we are back. I feel like anyone watching this video is going to see like I look like a mountain man since the last time.
I was actually, funny enough, I was going to kind of say the same thing. Like, I am waiting to get my hair cut.
I'm getting my hair cut tomorrow.
Yes. I think Lauren's, my wife, is really mad at me because I feel like I've like procrastinated everything. Like, I'm doing everything tomorrow. Yeah. By the way, if you've been following us, we may have referenced this in a past episode. Ray and I are going to be on the road. Not that we're taking the show on the road, though. We do hope we're
taking the show on the road by traveling through the air to Europe.
I mean, I am bringing the mics and stuff. Yeah. I'm hoping that we can get some shots of the Guinness house and stuff, and maybe do audio recording over it or something.
We're going to Lisbon. Then we're for a couple days. Then we're going to Dublin to do like a family get together in Dublin. Not really like huge into the whole like. It'll be good to see Ireland again. But like, I feel like the Dublin trip's going to be like for the family, and then the Lisbon trip is for us. Yeah. But I am holding a Guinness class today. Appropriately poured a IPA in this Guinness class, in recognition of the trip we're about to go on.
We did also get I purchased a set of like Guinness goblets with our like split personalities name engraved on them. So those would be nice. We'll probably try maybe like depending on if we may film episode 6. This is episode 5 that you're listening to now. Episode 6, we have an idea of what we want to do for the next one, and I think we might film it in Portugal if we find time to do it, or Ireland, but I don't know that we're going to find the time. And we're probably going to be very exhausted and also very drunk by the end of the day.
I mean, if we do film, it's probably going to be at the end of the night, and we'll have been walked through the whole city, like having wine
and I get anxious about like the mics recording and the video playing now. Like me being drunk, we probably sit there and talk for an hour and have recorded nothing.
Yeah.
So,
anyways,
that's a long way to get into today's topic.
So why are we here today?
So, like Ray, I did want to point out that I feel I am also mountain manish, and I really do need to cut my hair and my beard. And
I think I'm going to be doing that a lot because with Flavor Saver.
Like Flavor Saver. Oh, yeah.
My mustache is just going to get right into my beard. Like, it is that.
You get a little of the beer onto the mustache.
Like, literally. When my mustache portion of my beard gets this long, like sometimes I do carry napkins around with me because everything just gets in it. I'm also terrible at maintaining this thing, but
so our topic for today, we have sort of like in this circuitous or cyclical kind of like approach to the show. I feel like circles like this. My daughter listens to a Danny Go song about circles in the sky.
Oh yeah. I've heard glow sticks. Time is a flat circle.
Yes, she loves true crime.
Yes.
Podcasts. Yeah. Anyways, what I feel like we've done this sort of cyclical thing where we've done like game, movie, TV show, or well, technically TV show, movie, game. Something in that order.
Have we done TV? Oh, we did DBZ.
We did. Yeah. Oh, no, sorry. Movie, game.
TV, DBZ.
TV. Yes. Okay, so we're back to games. Yeah. Last episode, we talked about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That was us talking about movies again. That was a movie from our childhood. We are sticking with our childhood, getting a little bit older as we go along here. Because I think
more mature
along
with and thus playing a little more mature games.
Yes.
Although we always kind of played. We played older. We played Mortal Kombat. It couldn't have been that.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
We saw the movie, like, I think in theaters. We couldn't have been more than 6 or 7.
Yeah. I mean, like, our brother, John, who you may or may not see in a future episode, used to work at the movie theaters, and he used to just, like, him babysitting us, which was great. I remember vividly a babysitting day with John of going to his job, him working, and us just popping from theater to theater.
And occasionally he would like swing by and like give us like popcorn and different like snacks and like cola, and it's like, this is great.
You know what? Shout out to John.
And
shout out to
honestly a lot of like
Franklin Park Cinemas. That's where it was.
A lot of our I guess I don't know. Would I describe it as nerd culture? Like a lot of the like that influence I feel it comes from John directly.
Mm.
He's the one who I feel like he got us the Sega Genesis, and then
a lot of the shit that we talk about was really influenced by John.
Yeah.
Like, we love Transformers because of John.
You know, all the things we really love, I feel like he really loves too. So
yeah, Brian was already kind of out of the house, but
yeah,
like by the time we started becoming aware of like having like that we were alive and that the things around us existed.
Yeah.
And so yeah, John was always popping back to Toledo, and like we were growing up, and he'd be in and out, and you know, we just all of the cool shit that we like to do as kids. I feel like most of it was influenced by John.
Yeah, we got wrestling from him too. Like, yeah, not to go into like a tangent, but like,
we couldn't do an episode of wrestling. I couldn't even tell you anything.
No, I couldn't.
But today's topic, we are going to talk about Metal Gear Solid.
Yes, and I think we're going to focus on 1 and 2. Like,
I do love 3. I don't want to give disrespect to 3, and I think we will talk a little bit about it because we need to start by talking about Big Boss. But I played more of 3. Ray and I played a lot of 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Ray didn't play as much of 3. I played 3, but I played 3 maybe twice through. Like I whereas like with 1 and 2, I probably played those like 6 times through, you know?
Right.
And so even though I did play and beat Snake Eater, I like don't remember a lot of that game. And even in watching the recaps back for 1 and 2, I'm like, there's a lot from 1 and 2. Like, it's hard to talk about 1 and 2 and to get through an episode talking about those two.
The series is so, even for fans, is so confusing and convoluted.
I know. I
had to create an outline.
Ray printed all of these notes. Ray printed these cheat
notes
sheets
alone are too long to really
which
memorize.
are like 6 pages long each.
So we're going to try just do our best here to remember what we can about the games.
I mean, part of our niche is to like talk about things
through our experience.
But also like, I think part of the fun of the show is trying to remember shit in real time.
True. So
like, wait, did that happen?
I think I was freaking out too much about like getting things right. So I don't know.
Well, that shows you how near and dear this was to our hearts.
Yeah.
Like, this was a near and dear franchise.
This was probably the first game where like story-driven kind of franchise and game that we just really loved.
It also, you know, in watching the recaps, to piggyback on what you just said, you know, a lot, I feel like I think of Hideo Kojima much like I think of like Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah.
Where like it was an art.
Yeah.
You know, like,
well, he wanted to be a director, but then found his way into gaming.
Right. He said in making a game he wanted to make a movie.
Yeah, exactly.
And so like
his games feel like movies.
Oh yeah. His games are like, you know, Quentin Tarantino always had this like I can't remember what interview he said, but he would listen to a piece of music and create a scene around it so that the scene would imbibe like what the music was relaying.
Yeah, you like always notice like Tarantino movies always have fantastic soundtracks.
And everything with Hideo is like it's intentional. Like every decision that's made, the enemies, going back to the soundtracks, everything is so meticulously done in a Hideo Kojima game where it's like this was a work of love. Like this was like this game, and you felt it. I mean, like that is why Metal Gear Solid has such like a cult following.
Yeah.
And why when he left Konami, that I was like heartbroken by that.
Yeah, I know. I still need to play 5. Like that is on my bucket list. I tried. It's hard. Like we have kids. Like after having a kid, it's hard. Especially, you probably have to devote 100 hours to that game to like really get through it.
Well, his games remind me of, not to the same extent, but like they do give off a like Final Fantasy vibe where it's like, and I say that because you had to put so much time into a Final Fantasy game to get anywhere into it and to beat it. My God, like, I mean, I the only Final Fantasy game I played all the way through was 10, and I mean, that game was an amazing game, but after that game, I was like, I don't ever want to play a Japan RPG ever again. Like that game almost broke me from ever playing those kinds of games again.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it was so much. There's so much tedious work to be done in those. But in a similar vein, like Metal Gear Solid were games that just you knew when you got into a Metal Gear Solid game, like it was going to be a great experience, but it was also going to like consume your life.
Yeah, and drive you crazy at times.
Yes, I mean, so even like to the point of like the dialogue being like they're like 10-minute cutscenes where it's like, okay, a cutscene started, dialogue's happening. It's like, okay, I need to go take a piss. Let me go take a shit.
Yeah, and who's the one scientist character? Like anytime he goes in diatribe, it's like you might as well go to the bathroom break because like.
And he Octa, what is it?
Octo. I have to look up his name. See, that's another reason why I did these notes.
You had it in your notes here somewhere.
I know, but there's so many notes. It's hard to find.
You know, it's so many notes to the point that these aren't even helpful anymore.
Hal Octon? Is that right? That doesn't sound right, though.
No. Well, his first name is Hal.
Otacon?
Otacon.
That's what he meant.
Okay. But that also, one of the YouTubers made a point that Hideo named him that because he says it in dialogue at one point when he first meets Snake that he chooses that name because it means it's in reference to somebody who loves Japanese anime.
Yeah, which is like the first thing you learn about the character.
That's all he talks about. Yeah,
why he wanted to work on Metal Gears because he loves anime robots. But anyways, a lot of cutscenes, a lot of cinematic stuff, and a lot of like diatribes in this series. And you can't really start to talk about Metal Gear without starting with kind of the foundation, which is Big Boss.
Right. And that, I mean, I think this is going to be the extent of our discussion of 3. But like, just for those who have not gotten into the series, never played it, I mean, if you wanted to play it in chronological order, you'd start with 3 because 3 even predates the like early Metal, like I'm talking about pre-PlayStation, like Metal Gear, not even Solid, Metal Gear 1 and Metal Gear 2.
Yeah, which I didn't even know about until I was like an adult. Like I was like, there are games.
Yeah.
Which is funny because like thinking about it, so there are 2 games, Japanese games, that were on a very specific Japanese system that if you're American, you probably never really got to play. I think they tried to port them to the NES, but they were like terrible. And Hideo Kojima like disowned, them because I think they cut a bunch of stuff out. But anyways, there are 2 games. Like one I think was in '89, the other was in '90. Metal Gear, the Metal Gear 2, which also kind of include Big Boss. And there are things that happen in Metal Gear Solid 1. There's like when I remember first playing Metal Gear Solid 1, I felt like I was already on my back foot because it's like they're mentioning stuff that I've but Big Boss, who the hell is this Big Boss guy they want to get his body or remains from?
That recap also mentioned in Metal Gear Solid 1, you could like he did
do like a story recap.
Yes, he hid like stuff, but I don't remember as a kid ever being like, "Oh, let me just start the game." Like, why would I go to the menu? You know, it's like a kid's not thinking about that. Where it's like, "Oh, I need to like let me brush up on this." Like,
yeah, I probably just started the game. I was like, I don't need to do
that. But
and I think you would have to select it. Like, it didn't automatically play.
No. Because when you started the game, the first thing you see is like, okay, Campbell's talking to him, but he's swimming through the water. Yeah. You're not getting the whole like you get obviously introduced into like why you're there, and what you're there to do, and like you're a sort of counter terrorist to these people who are. I don't even think like what does Campbell tell him? I mean, we're just skipping over 3, but
yeah, all you really need to know about Big Boss is
and I think you mentioned 5. I think 5 returns to Zanzibar.
Yeah, 5 is Big Boss.
Yes.
And it's him
setting up Outer Heaven.
His Outer Heaven, yeah.
Which is a refuge for soldiers outside of the bounds of like other countries.
Essentially there's this, he's not even a super soldier, he's just an excellent soldier. Whereas the character you play in 1, Solid Snake, is, spoiler alert, a clone of Big Boss.
Him and Liquid.
Like him and Liquid are genetically and Solidus are genetically engineered soldiers. Like they were raised to be soldiers by birth.
Right.
For whatever reason, I don't even know his motivations for becoming a soldier or whatever. But he becomes a soldier. He's part of the special units, and he becomes known as this super soldier, or this incredibly expert soldier who becomes disheartened, I guess, by governments. Like he sees governments
there is like
toss away soldiers.
Right.
Like once they're done with them.
And this thing like keeps popping up throughout Metal Gear Solid. Like for each character that becomes the protagonist of a game, like that almost becomes what they walk away with.
They're
like,
trying to like live up to Big Boss's like dream, which was to create what he eventually created, which was Outer Heaven, almost this nation state comprised of soldiers.
Which in Metal Gear Solid 2, Snake, who we play in Solid, has to infiltrate and kill Big Boss.
Yeah.
And so in that, I think 5 revolves around that world of Big Boss. 3 also involves Big Boss, but before he becomes Big Boss. He becomes Big Boss in killing the final enemy of 3, his mentor, the Boss. And that's really set during the Cold War. It's got very, like, 2 brings this back into the fold, but there's like this sort of, this competing interests of, obviously 3 is set in the Cold War, so it's competing interests of Russia and the US. They're very much in that sort of 60s, you know...
Yeah, Cold War
era where it's like, okay, there's an arms race here. And the Boss is sort of this, again, super soldier, not genetically made, but like this amazing soldier who became their claim to fame. Their rise started in I believe she served in World War II, and then she eventually mentors Snake, who becomes Big Boss by killing her. And the 3 ends with him killing her, but he becomes dejected because
laid the foundation of his philosophy of creating his own nation state for soldiers, like mercenary soldiers, I essentially think, who would always have a home, like who wouldn't be thrown away by their governments when the governments were done with them. And so that was his motivation. He was kind of a soldier.
The only other thing I will say about 3, and we're not going to spend a lot of time on this because we got to get to 1 and 2, and 2 is going to take a long time to like talk through. 3 had, and I feel sad that we're not going to talk at length about this, but I feel like of the 3, 1, 2, 3, 3 had the best boss fights.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think they did.
I mean, this is a series that is known for its boss fights. 3 had the best boss fights and very Hideo Kojima secrets in there.
Yeah.
Like one of the famous secrets is that, and this is probably the best boss fight I've ever played in any game. There's a point in the game where you have to fight, I think his name was The End, and he's the sniper. He's the old sniper.
He's a sniper who's an incredibly elderly man.
You could go into your PlayStation settings, set the clock forward, and he would die
of old age.
I mean, like that is...
Which is insane.
And again, it's very like a trademark of the series where the series will at times break the fourth wall.
Yeah, it'll give you like... It won't explain things to you. It'll like give you funny like things you can... Like, oh, I wonder if I do this. Like even in 2, I think one of the retrospectives was mentioning this. There's a fight with a Russian girl, and there are these tarps that are holding down military equipment, and you can just like, if she's hiding behind one of these military boxes, you can just like shoot like the string or whatever that's holding the tarp down, and it'll fly up and knock her away. Like that's not explained to you, but it's like, what if I do this? What happens? Like that is, you're encouraged to try things. Because they'll throw in little secrets.
Would that beat her? That would end the fight, essentially?
No, I think it would like kind of knock her back or something. And it would knock her into like your view, I think, where you could then hit her.
I feel like I accidentally did that one time. I did it too. Because I can vividly remember that tarp flying away at one point. And like, I think that it might have been something I did in the game. I think 2 was the one I played the most. But we're going to get into 1. But 3 had the best boss fights. And... it was just a great game. I feel bad that we're not talking about it because we got to get to 1 and 2. But amazing boss fights. If you're going to play the series, you probably should start with that, even though there's going to be a lot of backstory you're not familiar with. It does kind of stand on its own.
Yeah.
Because it really is a story about the boss and the Snake who becomes the big boss, how he gets there, how the little seed that's planted in his mind about Outer Heaven, how that gets established. It's set during the Cold War. It's an interesting time period. Yeah,
and they're remaking it. So,
are they remaking it?
They are remaking. So it's going to be called.
It doesn't need to be remade.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be called. You wouldn't know unless you like look this up because it's called like a Metal Gear Delta, I think. Metal Gear Solid Delta, maybe. And I was like, oh, is this a new title? And I think it's a remake of 3. I'm pretty sure.
I think I do remember that. I feel like there's some controversy over that.
So, anyways, but yeah, I don't think Hideo's. It's probably going to be the first game without him, I guess. Other than that, the failed.
Well, that was the sad.
online
This is why
title.
it kind of broke my heart when Hideo Kojima left Konami. Is that Konami kept the rights of Metal Gear, and so I knew that there was never going to be another good Metal Gear Solid game, which was really disheartening. Like, because it was like, well, but then he did 5. Was 5 his last one with?
I think 5 was his
Konami. It just, you knew there was never going to be another good. Like, there is not Metal Gear Solid without Hideo Kojima.
No,
Like a Metal Gear Solid game that's made that isn't under his eye, I don't even know that I would like play.
yeah.
Because it just wouldn't be a Metal Gear Solid game without him.
But anyways,
So this sets up 1, right?
sets up 1. Yeah.
The point of 1 is for Outer Heaven fails because Snake kills the big boss. Though in comes Snake, and we learn later Liquid are clones of the big boss.
At the beginning of the game, Snake doesn't know this. This is kind of something discovered throughout the game.
Right. And but Liquid Snake's motivation in the game is to, I don't think we know this initially, but they're trying to get the boss's remains because they're trying to find some sort of genome, or they're trying to find a way to heal their soldiers.
Yeah, so all the soldiers, I guess, are genetically
Like, there's a bunch of them that are genetically made
from Big Boss, I think.
I don't know.
Like essentially all the soldiers you fight at Shadow Moses, which is a location.
Which is a great name for...
Great name.
Like the Shadow Moses incident. Like, it's just a great name.
they have all great names, like Outer Heaven, Zanzibar, Shadow Moses. Like,
great.
Yeah. Anyways, they're all, I guess, they must all be somehow genetic clones of Big Boss. But they have a genetic flaw. Right, I think their life might be ending soon or something like that.
It's almost kind of like Blade Runner-esque, where it's like the replicants like only have a certain amount of time to live.
Right. So they're trying to get his genetic material, like his remains, to try and fix this, whatever the issue is.
Right.
So that's, I guess, the motivation of the soldiers who are with Liquid. I don't know if he also needs to do the same thing.
I'm sure he's doing it for him and
for
any of those who've been genetically made or modified from the Big Boss. Big Boss. I can't remember what Snake is told when he first, because this always happens in the Metal Gear Solid game. Somebody's entering the fold here. Both first one and the second one, they're swimming into this facility with incomplete information, or they're just kind of lied to. It's like, this is what your mission is, but then later on you find what the real mission is about.
Right.
And I can't remember when Snake's first swimming in, what is it that, like, he's there to save the DARPA chief and somebody else.
Yeah, he's there to save the DARPA chief and I think like a weapons manufacturer, maybe.
And then obviously we learn that's not the real mission, or at least like not the outcome of his superiors, like the true outcome of the superiors.
I don't know at this point when he's coming in if he knows that they have that, there's this weapon here with a nuclear weapon.
Isn't he also infused with like poison? Because fox dye becomes a thing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Like,
didn't they send Snake because he has like this poison basically?
Yeah, so they dosed him with this virus, I guess, called fox dye. Again, he doesn't know this at the very beginning of the game.
But their hope is by sending him and his interaction with these people, he's going to poison them.
Yeah. So anyways, he's coming in. I think what he knows when he's coming into the Shadow Moses facility is that, one, they've captured the DARPA chief and this other guy, and they're trying to ransom him for like $1 billion or something. And they also want Big Boss's remains. And I don't know if they say they have nuclear weapons at the beginning. Like, they might have like a nuclear sub, or might be alluded that they have this. But the real threat is, which we'll later find out, is the Metal Gear.
Does he know that there's a Metal Gear on site at that point?
I don't know. He doesn't.
Okay.
I don't think.
Is that a new Metal Gear? Like, so Metal Gears have been a thing before Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah.
but this Rex, Metal Gear Rex, is that like that's a new iteration of it?
Yeah.
But he doesn't figure that out until later on.
He doesn't know that this thing is there at the facility.
Now, what do they? Why I can't remember. Why do they want Metal Gear Rex, or what are they using it for? Is it deterrent?
Why do they want? I think Liquid's ultimate goal is one to also like fulfill Big Boss's dream and establishing an outer heaven,
Which Solidus also wants to do.
Yeah,
At least you think he wants to do that.
Yeah. And Big Boss's goal was also always to have like a potential nuclear threat. Like he had a couple of Metal Gears in both of the games preceding this game, the first Metal Gear Solid game. There's always a Metal Gear you had to fight. Partially, I think, to protect his nation state, but like, I guess as a deterrent, maybe, that he wanted these things. But Metal Gear is essentially like a armored mech weapon that can launch a nuke from like anywhere.
Yeah, right. It's a very like advanced nuclear weapon option. Like not only like a weapon, but like to some degree a deterrent against attack.
I guess so. Yeah.
It's almost like I have a better nuclear option than you do, so you don't want to. You're not going to really want to attack me.
So, yeah, Snake coming in doesn't know that this Metal Gear is there.
Right.
So he comes in knowing he has to save the DARPA chief and this other guy and trying to extract them.
Now, I will say that like this is probably, and I do love 2, but like Metal Gear Solid 1's opening is the most memorable opening.
I was going to say when we got to 2, like I think 2's like opening when you play, we'll get there, but like it's the most memorable first act of a game, I think.
I will say that 2 of all 3 games, 1, 2, and 3, the setting for 2 is my absolute favorite.
Yeah, my favorite part of Metal Gear Solid 2 is the very beginning.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm not remembering as much. I just remember, maybe it's because 1 was the first time where it's like, it felt like you were playing a movie. Like you were.
I mean, both start very similar. You're coming into the middle of a conflict.
Yeah, and I mean the guy who did the recap of 2, the retrospective, like it's intentional that it's set up for Raiden to do the same kind of actions that Snake does.
Yeah,
that becomes an important part to 2. But 1, you kind of it's an Arctic setting off of Alaska.
I guess so. I think it's in Alaska.
Some sort of military base. That the DARPA chief had come to inspect. He was basically rused into coming there,
right?
And then the Foxhound group essentially like were staging a surprise attack. Like they doped him into coming, and then they kidnapped him basically, and they're holding him hostage.
Right.
And so the game starts with the Snake swim in the water. He comes up above the water. He's in this sort of underground facility. And maybe I also remember this, or this is memorable to me more so than 2 because it was like I vividly remember this being on like remember when you used to get trial discs games?
Oh yeah.
Like not only did we own the game, we had for a long time owned the first level of the game before you
they did the same thing with Soul Reaver.
Yeah, it was like a trial
the very
disc.
beginning.
You would get it in like a box of cereal or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyways, I'm screwing this up because when I say memorable opening, I was thinking of the Raiden part. I forgot the whole part that Snake goes on the ship.
Yeah.
I'm like forgetting about. I totally forgot about that part. Like the 2 opens up with Snake in the ship. Anyways. 1, you go out, you
climb out of the water.
Yeah, you trick a couple guards. You could do the little knocking on the, get them that move. Like, huh?
Oh yeah, that was always like the
question mark, and then the those games were famous. The Metal Gear Solid's famous for the question mark and the exclamation point when you get caught. You don't have a gun, so you had to like choke people out.
Yeah. I think this is before in 2 you famously start off with the dart gun where you just put people to sleep. I don't think you had that in 1.
You could also, well, let's say with 1, but like, yeah, you kind of had to do that like weird choke
them out. You can either like knock them out or like kill them, you know, like break their necks.
I can't remember if you could like dump their bodies anywhere.
Yeah, I think you can move their bodies.
You can move them, but like, could you like just toss them in the water? Like I remember with 2,
I feel like 2 you could
throw them off
definitely
the
do
ship.
that. I don't think you could do that in 1.
And then you get up the elevator. You're in this very like snowy setting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Snake gets in the elevator. He takes off. There's that cinematic moment again. You feels like you're playing a movie. Where he's
He's in this huge cargo elevator, and as he's going up, he's like taking off all the extra like scuba diving gear or whatever, and then
Campbell's telling him what his mission's going to be. Like all the credits are playing.
And I remember the one thing I vividly remember is like as soon as you get to the top of the elevator, like I think you see Liquid for like a second as he's hopping into a helicopter.
Yeah, you do.
And he takes off.
Right.
So you immediately see the antagonist, the leader of the Foxhound group. And I should say, when we mentioned Foxhound, Solid Snake was part of Foxhound. Foxhound is basically a special operations group that Big Boss was also, I don't know, was he founder of or part of?
It was with the U.S. government.
Yeah, it was U.S. government.
Well, actually, I do remember this from 3. In Metal Gear Solid 3, they were just Fox. Eventually, it becomes Foxhound.
Foxhound, yeah.
Starts off as Fox, and it's this long-standing branch of the military.
So the like Foxhound unit.
These are all ex-Foxhound people.
No, they are the current Foxhound. I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
they turn coat, and
well, it's because the government's going to turn against.
Yeah,
them.
take over this military facility in Antarctica, and that's why I think Snake is brought out retired. Snake is retired. Solid Snake is retired at this point.
I forgot about that too.
He's brought out of retirement, so to take out this Foxhound team because
actually I didn't know that until I looked at your notes. It was like brought out of retirement.
Yeah, because like if they would have gone with their own special ops, right? But their special ops team turned against them.
Oh,
so they brought sense. Snake out of retirement to go.
So he knew all them, right? Did he know them?
I don't know that he knew them.
I feel like he would have trained them. Wouldn't he?
I'm not sure if that's made clear because it's not like anytime he like faces an enemy in the game, which is almost always a member of the Foxhound team.
He definitely doesn't know Vulcan Raven because like Vulcan Raven has to test him whether he's worthy of fighting or whatever. Like. So like
I feel like some of that this is okay, so like Metal Gear Solid's so convoluted. Like I feel like some of the Foxhound members had interactions with Big Boss. And yet like you don't ever get the sense in the game when you're squaring up against all the bosses in the first game are basically members of Foxhound that have turned coat. And you never get the sense anytime you square up against any of them, even your twin clone brother, that you know any of these people.
That he's ever really met them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is kind of weird.
Yeah.
There's a lot, like Ray said, convoluted. Metal Gear Solid is absolutely a convoluted, like, 1, 2, like, if the franchise is convoluted. Like,
yeah.
It's just so...
Snake was definitely part of Foxhound because it was in the very first game that we never got to play in Metal Gear.
Well, Campbell's giving him directions.
They should really remake those games because you never got to play them.
Which ones?
The one with Outer Heaven and the one with
they really should do that. Well, I think 5 was an attempt to kind of remake, or at least revisit that.
But you're not. But I mean,
but you're not Snake. You're talking about like Metal Gear Solid, Metal Gear 2, where you
Metal Gear 1 and 2. Yeah.
Well, 1 is Big Boss.
No, 1 you're Rookie Snake against Big Boss.
What's 2?
You're Snake again. It's Tall Snake again.
Fighting who?
You don't know this at the time, but Big Boss, I guess, lives, so you fight him again. Zanzibar is so the first game is Outer Heaven. The second game takes place in Zanzibar. Essentially, it's the same thing. He's trying to create a nation state for soldiers. Both are the same, essentially.
I didn't know that. I thought 1 was Big Boss and 2 was Snake.
No, they're both Solid Snake.
Okay.
Solid Snake is just a rookie in the very first one.
All right, well, whatever. You
But by this game, by Metal Gear Solid 1, he is a legend, like a living legend soldier.
Right. Even in 2 when Raiden meets him, like, basically like he's
Which was also something that confused me. It's like all these people know who Solid Snake is, but what's going on here?
yeah.
Obviously, there was a backstory that I never knew about.
Well, they're all military, so like all these and Meryl in the game in the first game, who knows him, is Campbell's niece. So it makes sense that she would be aware of him. It makes sense that Raiden would be aware of him because Raiden was trained by Solidus and anyways. Let's get back to one storyline.
You get up in the elevator, and that's when you reach. I mean,
you catch a glimpse of Liquid, and then you kind of got to run around, and you finally find your first weapon, which is your pistol.
Yeah, I famously remember. I mean, this part also I remember because of, like the snow. I mean, I think you could even see your breath.
Yes, and the soldiers could track your footprints too.
Yeah, they could track your footprints,
which was like revolutionary
at the time. Yeah, it seemed
that
like
was amazing. Much like when we talked about Resident Evil, like Metal Gear Solid games felt like they were ahead of their time.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Not just like the storyline, the cinematic nature of them, but yeah, I mean like what was possible in the game. Like it's like the whole Psycho Mantis fight.
Yeah,
like the shit that goes down in that fight. It's like, wait, what? Like this guy's reading my memory card?
Yeah, he's like breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah. Another example.
And I like to get to Psycho Mantis, but
one thing I will say in watching this back is, and maybe this is like in playing Twin Snakes, or maybe I was wrong, but like I remember watching it and being like, oh, Psycho Mantis is like the third or fourth boss. I remember that happening sooner than it actually does.
He's more memorable than I think some of the other bosses you fight before him. I think he's the most memorable, probably because of like the gimmicks during the fight, but breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah.
But anyways, you're in the snowy area. You have to like go through that, sneak through that area. You find a pistol in that area, and then you kind of crawl through a vent, to make your way into the facility.
Right.
I can't remember exactly what happens when you get into the facility, but I mean, the first like big thing is like eventually find the DARPA chief.
Yes. And you don't know it at the time, but he's not the DARPA chief.
He's not the DARPA chief. The DARPA chief's already dead. One of the members of...
he's technically the first... That's the first boss fight.
You kill, actually.
First boss fight that you kill is somebody who dies of Fox Die. What was his name?
I don't know.
Decoy or something? Or I don't know.
I can't remember.
You never really fight him.
Not super memorable because you don't really technically
You also don't know that you killed him until later.
He's just a master of disguise.
Yeah.
Which, obviously you never figure that out until you don't figure that out, I think, later in the game until like he finds the actual DARPA chief's body and it's very clear to Snake that this body has been dead for days.
Right.
Even though he just saw him die.
Right.
And then like it's like, okay, yeah. Oh, and I think in that part of the game where you find his body, I think you overhear a conversation of like that Liquid has that
Liquid makes a comment
about Fox Die and how this member
it
of
killed
Fox,
so and so and then killed this Foxhound guy, and you're like, wait.
He was like, wait, what? I'm pretty sure Campbell probably calls you and it's like, oh, it must have been this. I can't remember exactly, but anyways, you meet the DARPA chief
briefly, and
I think that is when it's interesting because that he's this Foxhound guy, because that's when you learn about Rex. I'm pretty sure that this facility is actually containing this Metal Gear.
Oh, right. Well, so that's like sort of like part of the course for Metal Gear Solid. Like, eventually, the protagonist is going to learn what the reality of the mission is from somebody on site. Like,
right, but it's like the enemy is divulging that information.
Well, and
he also, I guess, in a way, doesn't know how much you know because
he makes a weird comment.
He does make the weird comment at the very end, trying to figure out how much your leadership knows coming in. You
what else do they tell you, or
what do they tell you? What do they know? And then he dies. Fox Die.
And like, don't worry, you're never going to tell him.
Doesn't he like say Fox Die as he dies?
I think Liquid does that. Doesn't Liquid say Fox Die at the end when he's dying?
Okay. Yeah.
He
I'm not
falls
sure.
over dead, and he's like, "Fox die."
Yeah, maybe he says that. That's the only thing I really remember of 4, like that happening again. That scene recreated. Remember
Oh, you know what? I don't really want to talk about 4, and
Yeah.
I don't remember that. That was kind of a
I don't
travesty.
love
I
it,
didn't love
yeah.
that game kind of sucked.
In the way I hated playing.
But I did like 4. 'Cause I think it was 4 where you had this flashback and you go back to.
You do go back to Shadow Moses.
That was kind of cool. But yeah,
Yeah, in the same way as I hated playing Raiden in 2, which we'll get to. I hated playing like an old Snake. It's kind of cool, the storyline that his cells were degenerating. That's why he was like aging so fast. But anyways, we're not talking about 4.
Yeah, 4 sucked. Or I don't remember. I don't
remember too
Wasn't
much
good.
about it.
So
Keep talking. I'm grabbing a beer.
Okay, Wraith, grab another beer. Actually, I'm gonna get up and just make sure this. Can you look at that screen and see that it's still recording?
Yeah, it looks like it.
What timestamp are we at?
I can't see a timestamp. I just
Okay, don't worry about it.
this.
If it's recording, that's fine.
41.
Okay, cool. Yeah, get a beer. So you know, if you want me to keep some beers over here, I can put them in my cooler.
Okay, maybe.
You just grab you one when you want to drink one. You know, that's what coolers are for, buddies. Folks at home, you get a cooler, you keep the cooler next to you. That way you don't get up. You don't get up for beer. You need a beer, you open the cooler, grab the beer.
Cooler.
So,
Do you want one of these? Do you have one of these?
Huh? I do have one of those.
Anyways, we're going to keep going.
Yeah. So, we're at 41 minutes, means we need to get through one. That happened with DBZ. We went for an hour and 40 minutes on
Oh
that.
my god. We haven't even gotten to game 2, which is so convoluted.
Yeah. Okay, so let's rush through one a little bit more here because we're taking too long. Like usual, we're taking too long.
Yeah, we got on a Big Boss tangent and a Metal Gear Solid 3 tangent. It's hard not to. I mean, they're great. They're all great games with great story,
so
but
good.
continue with one.
So eventually you run into Revolver Ocelot, and that's when you're trying
He's
to...
a big through line through a lot of these games.
Yeah, and obviously he's in 3.
Mhm.
He's in Snake Eater. You know, the weird thing about him is he's Russian, but he doesn't sound Russian. He's like the one Russian
Is
in
he
the game.
Russian? Oh yeah, he is Russian.
Yeah.
It's so weird because he has like a very like American Western vibe about him. But
and
he doesn't.
does
He
not have a
absolutely
Russian
does not
accent.
sound Russian.
yeah, I don't know if that's
I
ever...
wonder if there's a
explained.
backstory to that.
But he so you first encounter him when you run into not the DARPA. Who was the other guy? The weapon? Was it the weapon?
Is right after DARPA chief.
Yeah,
and then
there's
you
another
meet,
guy you had to
you
had
meet
to-
Meryl. I think in between the DARPA chief. Okay, yeah. I think DARPA chief dies. I think you meet Meryl, which is Campbell's
niece.
who is a big fan of Solid Snake. She idolizes him.
Which apparently the canon is that
How did she get there
survives this
too?
game.
I can't even remember. Why is she there in the facility?
I don't
even remember.
I don't know.
It's weird because she's not. There's no way she's a genetic clone, right?
No.
They're all the soldiers are essentially genetic clones.
And
Why
she
the
wasn't
hell
there
is
on
she
like dude.
She was in prison when you find her.
I don't know. I don't know.
Oh,
why
you
she
know
was
what?
there.
They must have attacked the facility. They took over the
Was she
facility,
working at
right?
the
And she was
facility?
probably helping to guard the facility and then imprisoned. Like, I don't know.
I don't know why she's there.
I don't know.
Yeah, Meryl. But who was the other guy? So there's the DARPA chief, and who's the other dude?
I can't remember.
Anyways, you're trying to save another guy,
I don't remember ever meeting that guy. Oh,
but in trying to save him, you run in. That's the first time you run into Ocelot. Ocelot's kind of the first boss battle
yeah.
of the game.
I guess yeah. You do. Oh yeah.
Because
Kind of
that's also
look like Winston Churchill.
Yes, totally. That totally looks like Winston Churchill. I don't. He relays.
I remember I
Was he the one that
vividly
relays the information about this being about Metal Gear Rex or something?
Is he? I don't remember what he says. I thought you get the Rex information from the DARPA chief. One of these guys.
One of these old fucking guy.
They're like, hey,
says something,
the real reason you're here is because of this Rex thing.
and you're like, whatever, cool. I gotta go fight this guy with a revolver. And revolver ocelot obviously like can ricochet bullets off you.
The one thing I remember about that room is it very vividly being a square room.
Yeah, a square.
Was he in a cage in the middle of the room?
No, he'd run around the edges.
No, the guy you're trying to save.
I think so. He was like, wasn't he hooked up to a bomb or something?
Maybe. I don't fucking know.
C4. It was C4.
Okay.
Yeah, the recap video. Yeah, it was C4.
He must have
He
died,
somehow
right?
survives the explosion though, but then die. I don't know. He survives and then dies. I don't remember. But that also introduces us to the other like memorable person in the first game, and then sort of a recreation of that person in the second game. The sort of cyborg ninja Gray Fox comes.
Yeah.
You at some point you beat Ocelot in the boss fight, and that ends with him not dying, but like the cutscene is it Gray Fox is his name?
Yes, Gray Fox, who is
swoops in and cuts his arm off.
He's a friend of Snake's back in the day. Who Snake I think must think he's dead. Like I think at this point, Gray Fox is believed to be dead.
Even in the retrospective, it's very unclear as to like if he is actually this person or like his body was found and it was used to make this cyborg ninja.
Yeah,
is he consciously this
you
person?
See, I feel like I remember in the remake, the Twin Snakes, you might get to see his face.
I don't know.
But I don't think you... I don't know.
He definitely wants to kill... He wants to either kill Snake or be killed by Snake.
Yeah.
Like, his mission is to try to die by Snake's hand.
So, I've never played the... obviously, the Japanese prequels. But apparently, there's a side... Apparently, he might actually be in the second game as a cyborg ninja.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think he is.
So, he dies in the first one?
In the first one... I think... Do you save him or not? I don't know. If something happened... He's definitely in the very first game, too. But I don't know if he lives or dies in that game. I don't know. I don't know anything about them.
Anyways, somehow he knows Snake. It was like maybe a former...
It's a friend of his, like from the past.
Yeah.
Snake, when you first meet him, you don't know he's Gray Fox. I don't know what.
Well, what's his ninja name? Isn't his ninja name Gray Fox?
Is it Gray Fox?
I thought that's not his like human name, isn't it?
Let me see if any of my notes have this.
His code name or whatever. Anyways, you meet this ninja. He cuts off. What's his face's arm? Ocelot's arm, and that battle ends, and then what happens from there?
He cuts off Ocelot's arm, the revolver dude, and I mean Ocelot just bolts, but I think after he cuts off his arm, he just like disappears, and Snake is like, "What the hell just happened?" I think I remember. I think after that sequence, I feel like you get a call like on the radio from maybe Campbell or someone. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I'm trying to see if I feel like I had notes on Gray Fox.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay.
No, I don't know. I know he's in the prequel games. I feel like he's a ninja in the second game, but I don't know. Anyways.
Okay, so let's advance the story here. What happens?
Ocelot, then I think you are making your way. You have to go. I remember you have to go back outside. You must be making your way from one part of the facility to the next.
Yeah.
And in between that, you get a call on your radio from someone who calls himself Deep Throat, like famously alluding to the Nixon. Yeah. And he warns you like about like a tank or something is approaching, like an enemy is approaching, and that's when you fight
Vulcan for the Raven Vulcan.
Is that your first real? I think that's your first real boss battle, isn't it? Oh no, you
I mean,
fight
Ocelot's a boss.
Okay, he's a boss. Yeah. Then you fight Raven, who's this
Right.
like big bald guy who has like a raven on his shoulder, and he's in a tank.
Yeah. I don't really recall that tank battle. Like,
The only thing I remember, like semi, is I think you had to dodge his attacks, and then eventually, like after dodging
throw grenades
enough,
up there.
I think you would open the top of it and like pop his head out, and that's when you'd have to lob a grenade into the tank.
Right. And then there was like a soldier on there also shooting at you, like controlling the machine gun.
Yeah,
Part of it.
I guess so.
I don't know. Anyways, like you beat the tank, but like he's still alive.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually you're gonna run into him again. But like once you're past that fight, you then is that the moment where you meet Meryl? Or did you say you meet
No,
Meryl
you
before
met her before.
What happens after the tank battle?
That's a good question. Eventually you fight Psycho Mantis.
Okay. And Meryl gets controlled by Mantis, right?
Yeah.
Psycho Mantis was the most memorable boss fight.
Yeah. Well, you make your way almost into this office setting, but why are you
Why
there?
you go there or what you're trying to do, I can't remember. But it is like this sort of like nice office, and then you run into Psycho Mantis is like kind of infiltrating your brain as you're walking up to the space that's going to be the battle site.
Right.
And that was definitely the most memorable boss fight ever.
Yeah.
Well, not ever, because I said in 3 the sniper battle is the best. But like that at the time, that fight was like way ahead of its time, because it was just like he would make the controller run. He'd tell you that he would do these things that would again break the fourth wall. Where it was like,
I think at the very beginning fight, he's like, "Let me show you like my power," and then he breaks the fourth wall where it's like speaking directly to you, the player. He's like, "Put your controller on the ground."
he makes a rumble.
And I don't think did any other PS games really utilize that rumble.
Not
feature?
to that extent. Like not.
I remember the rumble feature being a big thing with PS2, but
Yes,
I never remember it being PS1. And then I think I replayed that game.
Mm-hmm.
I must have got a PS1 or something. I must have had like an old PS1 and I replayed that game like in college or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember putting my controller on the ground and it rumbled. It's like, wow. I mean, I don't think any games really utilize this feature.
I can't.
Which is like the thing.
I don't remember rumble thing being a thing until 2. Because I remember everybody started doing it. Like N64, you had a rumble feature.
Yeah, but it definitely was part of the PS1 because he like tells you to put it on the ground.
Yeah,
even watching the retrospective, like he said.
He said that happened.
But I don't remember any other game like really using that feature.
Maybe like developers just didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah,
like now,
I think that speaks to Hideo Kojima because like he will just turn over every stone.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, like, I just feel like that at the time was a feature that, like nowadays, you're like, okay,
now you expect it.
Call of Duty, you're like you're shooting shots off in Call of Duty. You feel a little bit of rumble. You feel a little feedback.
Yeah, now you get hit.
That. You get hit in the game. You feel feedback, and you're getting the little rumble. PlayStation has done a sort of unique thing now with the 5, where it's like parts of it will rumble, or give you resistance. Like if you're pulling a bow string and like in Horizon or something, like it might give you a little resistance. But at the time, it's just literally the entire thing rumbling. But like, I feel like PlayStation 2, N64, Xbox, like all of those systems rumbled, but it was like probably with PlayStation 1, developers at the time didn't know, was like, why would we make somebody's controller vibrate?
Yeah.
You know? And so you played the Psycho Mantis fight was great. I mean, like you would have to at points like unplug it from port 1. Your controller would stop working or something. You have to unplug it from port 1, put it in port 2.
Yeah, the only way to like really beat him are like you would fight him and then you just couldn't hit him.
Yeah,
and then did they tell you this, or do you have to figure? I don't know they told you or you figure it out on your own.
Metal Gear Solid never told you how to.
You would have to take. You literally take the controller, unplug it from the primary port, the first port, plug it into the second port, and then he could no longer read your like attacks.
And I feel like you would just kind of you would either figure that out or you'd go online and read like I mean, it was a big thing in our childhood to go online and find a playthrough.
Yeah, player's guide or something.
Player's guide. Or like if you, way back in the day, like if you were playing this right when it came out, you might get a magazine. That
I remember like when we played Twisted Metal and stuff like that, I remember buying books for it.
Yeah.
It would give you, or not specifically for Twisted Metal, but you could buy like a booklet for PS1 or PS2 and have codes in it.
Yeah.
So you just flip to the page to like the specific game, and then
yeah. So you beat Psycho Mantis, and I don't think, does he reveal anything to you?
No, I mean he's a like very tragic figure. Like
he like wants his mask back on or something. Like you get to see it, like because he's like the thoughts are entering his mind. Like he can't. A lot of these figures, and this was made in the retrospective. It's like, initially you see them as enemies, but then
Snake always can relate to them in some way.
Yeah, and even you as the player, like there's a lot of gray area. It's like, well, they probably didn't have a lot of choice in their life. Like where they ended up.
The one thing I remember, like Psycho Mantis, I think killed his father,
right?
As a kid or something,
by accident or something.
By accident when he was like discovering his like abilities,
right?
And I don't know how he gets tied up into Foxhound, but all these figures in some way or another are tragic. Fall from grace.
They're like a story. Like the whole Metal Gear Solid, I think, franchise is really a cautionary tale about war. And militarization and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. Okay. Eventually, you. Well, we already got to the part where he meets Octagon. That was with. Wait, did we get to the part where he meets Octagon? Or not Octagon? What's his name? Otacon?
Otacon, yeah. Yeah, he already met Otacon. You eventually find out Otacon has this thing with Sniper Wolf.
Is it only on his end, though? So that's like the next boss, right? Sniper
Wolf is the next one.
And she wounds Meryl. Mm-hmm. I always, when I rewatch this retrospective, I'm like, oh, I forgot Meryl lives. Like the canon is for her to live.
Yeah, but it depends on.
It depends on what you do in the torture scene, whether or not you get her
she lives or not, or
the canon
Otacon.
or Otacon. And I was like, I don't know. I remember watching this retrospective and be like, oh, I thought that scene was more tragic because they thought she died.
Who? Sniper Wolf?
No, Meryl.
Meryl. Oh.
I remember her dying, but I guess she didn't die.
Yeah, I might have got the part of the game where she died. Like, I think if she does die, don't you like find her body or something dead?
Yeah, and like I think you like ride off with Otacon.
Yeah,
which I
probably never saved her. I could never get.
Is weird because doesn't that seem more like the canon? Because in the second game, he starts off it's him and Otacon talking, like they go off together.
True, but I think
but doesn't Otacon die though? If it's not Meryl,
I don't know.
This guy said that Meryl was the canon.
Well, I mean, eventually she is because she's in Game 4.
Oh, I don't remember that. So Sniper Wolf is the next boss you encounter. She obviously, via her name, she's very talented with long range weapons, and she wounds Meryl pretty significantly, where she's trying to like bait Snake in coming out.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently in this part of the game you have to like backtrack way far to like early portions of the game to get the sniper to fight Sniper Wolf.
I guess this is a theme of Metal Gear Solid where like eventually the game makes you backtrack.
Yeah.
Even the guy who did the retrospective said even in Metal Gear 2, the game that preceded Metal Gear Solid 1, like there's a portion of the game where you have to backtrack so far.
So, again, I'm like blanking on a lot of this game.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was like trying to watch these retrospectives.
Honestly, I watched this retrospective and I'm like really I'm struggling here trying to remember the chronological events.
Yeah, I know.
I'm ready to talk about 2.
So he fights Sniper Wolf. Doesn't he have 2 fights with Sniper Wolf? Because eventually he does kill her.
Yes, he does. That's the trademark of this game too. He has 2 fights with like every boss. Like Vulcan Raven, he has to fight twice. First in the tank, and later on an elevator. Then he has to fight Sniper Wolf twice. Kills her the second time. Otacon doesn't want him to kill her because he's got this.
Okay, so Meryl is wounded. I think when she gets wounded, then you two are captured.
Oh,
maybe it's like if you don't survive the torture scene, she dies by her wounds. Maybe that's what happens.
Okay,
actually, it would make sense.
So you eventually defeat Sniper Wolf, and then does he learn? So like,
I think Otacon might. I think he provides this to you, like this invisible stealth gear. He eventually doesn't he? I feel like he sneaks in eventually in the torture scene.
Who does?
In this invisible stealth gear? Otacon?
Otacon does?
And release
to save him? He probably does.
I think he does.
Don't you have to coax him to do it or something? I don't know.
Do you? Maybe. I don't know either.
Okay, eventually the game's going to end with you having to fight Liquid.
Right.
What happened? How does Ocelot Revolver? How does he get out?
How does he get out? I mean, you don't see him.
The game
again.
definitely ends with him. So game 2 does get set up by the end of game 1 because the game. I'm jumping way ahead here because I can't remember a lot of 1. Like,
okay, the way that 1 ends is like eventually, obviously, you get to the point where, and I think you. Liquid Snake tricks you into actually activating Metal Gear. You get this. I don't know if Otacon provides her. Or if you find this key, but you find this key that is mysterious, and eventually you figure out like you can change its shape by hot or cold.
Yes, right. Okay, I remember that.
Then like he thinks he's deactivating Rex, but he's actually activating it when he initiates this key sequence. And you realize one of the people you've been talking to over the radio is actually dead, and Liquid Snake has been impersonating them. And he's like, "Oh, okay, cool. I tricked you, Miller. Thanks for
his old mentor.
Thanks for activating the super weapon. Obviously, you have to defeat Liquid in Metal Gear Rex. You do." And after that, there's another sequence.
He dies of that poison, the fox die.
Does he? Maybe he does. Okay,
Liquid dies from fox die.
Okay, he does, but like defeating him in Rex isn't the final sequence because then you and him are you are trying to escape via Jeep.
Oh yeah,
because I think the facility's about to blow up. Or maybe...
I remember them riding off on a motorcycle or something.
Yeah, like you're escaping via Jeep. I think Liquid chases after you in his own Jeep. And at some point, the two of you are just, I think, either Meryl or maybe Otacon, depending on, what ending you get, is driving this Jeep. And you're like literally fighting him. My God, we're going to get so much hate. I really cannot remember this game.
Wait. Is that both in the original and Twin Snakes, or is that Twin Snakes?
I think it's the original too. Yeah.
Okay.
You're escaping on a Jeep.
To our audience, I apologize. Like we love, do not get us wrong. We love Metal Gear Solid.
We might need to one day revisit this because I'm
not remembering any of this, and so Ray and I might have to do episodes where we do playthroughs or something but we don't have the time. We don't have the time to do this.
No.
I don't know. Audience, Metal Gear Solid was a big part of our childhood. We love Metal Gear Solid. There's just... Hey, if you've played Metal Gear Solid, there's a lot of shit that happens in those games. You're not going to remember everything that happens.
Yeah.
I do remember more of 2, though, to be honest.
Let's just get to 2.
Let's just get to 2. Liquid dies, and at the end of 2 is a phone call that happens, or a codex call, or whatever it is, that happens between Revolver Ocelot, and Solid, who we learn in 2 is, does he call him as Solidus in the phone call?
I think he does, but he ends the call
Mr. President,
with Mr.
because
President.
He's the president at the time, and who we learn in number 2 is Solidus
No.
Snake, the main bad guy in 2, who is also a clone of Big Boss. Who is like the most perfect clone of Big Boss of the 3.
Yeah, I guess it's like a secret that I guess Liquid thought he was the
Well, Liquid thought he was the He
was like
Liquid
the
thought
offshoot.
he was like the garbage.
Left over. It turns out that I guess Solid Snake actually was, and Solidus was the perfect clone.
Right.
So no, not Liquid Snake. Solid Snake was the garbage left over, and Solidus was the perfect clone.
Yeah. So he doesn't know. Snake doesn't know about Solidus being another clone. Like he didn't even know he was.
He doesn't even know his existence.
Okay, so jumping to 2 starts with I had forgotten this, but 2 starts with Snake, and so that sets up a big spoiler in the game where it's like once you get first the opening salvo of the game, you really get. I remember being really upset about this actually.
A lot of fans were.
Where Raiden comes into the mix, but
yeah, when you get to the real meat and potatoes of the game after the very first, I guess I would call it the first act. After the ship blows up, bro. My dog has got the zoomies. All right, hold on. I gotta take care of this. Anyways, so 2 starts off.
2's like Snake. Okay, so Snake and Otacon have now created their own group called Philanthropy, which I think is that's like the one time we in this game where I'm like, that's a terrible name for an organization.
Yeah, and I think it's actually recognized by the United Nations.
Yeah, the UN recognizes it. And basically, they are out to denuclearize the world and also like de-Metal Gear the world.
Yeah, I don't know. So the way 2 begins is like a lot of the plans and documents, like the secret documents on Rex, have been uploaded and shared all over the web. And so now everyone has the schematics to build their own, like every nation essentially has schematics to build their own Metal Gear. So it's a proliferation of like kind of like the nuclear arm.
It's a new arm race. It's a Metal Gear arm race.
And I can't remember. I feel like the guy who made the retrospective said that they did that. Snake and Otacon did it purposely to create this almost like new Cold War with this weapon.
Well, at least make everybody
if everyone has it,
it's like field. It's like okay, there's less aggression.
There's less chance of people to use them if everyone has them. Kind of like nukes now, but.
Yeah, a lot of the themes do, and definitely in 2 with the whole AI stuff, like the themes of 2 really resonate even today.
Yeah. But at the same time, their organization also tries to expose any new Metal Gears are being built and tries to,
So in doing their due diligence, they must come across the fact that Metal Gear Ray, which is the new Metal Gear.
Well, they get a tip. They get tipped off that Ray is being developed.
And it's part of the U.S. Navy.
Yeah, it's part of the U.S. Navy. Otacon gets a tip, which the tip has a reference, like EE, I think is the reference. I'm not 100% sure. Don't come at me because we already got so much of this shit wrong.
EE being his sister, right?
Which he picks up on this tip because it's like what only my sister would know this reference, blah blah blah. So he thinks it's his sister who's giving this tip, but he also infiltrates, hacks into the CIA systems to confirm that this tip is true, and finds out about Ray. So you start off with it's very memorable, seeing Snake is just essentially in this huge raincoat. You can't tell who's walking across this bridge because you can't see their face. They're just in this big rain trench coat kind of thing. And all of a sudden, the person who's walking on the bridge all of a sudden dives off the bridge onto this ship, this tankard, which is, you find out later, it's like the military ship that is sailing into the middle of the sea to run tests on their new Metal Gear.
Well, and I do remember also towards the end of the level, there just being this presentation that's going on, about
military presentation.
Yeah, it's just So basically, like, the military has developed this new form of Metal Gear that they're
amphibious Metal Gear.
right,
Metal Gear Ray.
which becomes less
Ray, what up?
exactly. It becomes less impressive as the game goes on because like the real Metal Gear is Metal Gear Arsenal later on, where it's like this AI thing that controls all data. Like again, the themes of this game are very prevalent today, where it's like there is this cabal of...
It's weird to think, because this came out like 2000, 2001.
Yeah, like Hideo is like really looking into the future here because he's like, there's this cabal of
there's this cabal of like
12
it's called
members, the Patriots.
The Patriots, but it's an AI. Like I totally forget about that. And at the time, I don't think that.
I thought it was 12 human beings. Are they AI?
But now it's like an AI system.
But it's an AI system. There are 12
probably controlled by.
There are 12 influential Americans. Nobody knows their identity.
They're a bunch of. They're 12 Instagram influencers.
But they're exactly.
That's why they're so influential.
Yeah, they got those likes. They got the likes. They got the subscribe. Hey, push us in.
Masthead.
I'm drinking Masthead, but it's from a Bookhouse Brewing glass.
Noble Bee sponsor. Right. All the breweries sponsor.
Right. Breweries sponsor.
Any company sponsor.
We'll take that money. We love that money. Where is it going with this? Something about Metal Gear Arsenal.
Arsenal is like a big facility. As a Metal Gear.
I'm jumping around with two here. Metal Gear Ray is not the impressive thing. It's Metal Gear Arsenal, which is later, which is what Solidus wants, because inside the data mining of Arsenal are the identities of these 12 people.
Mm-hmm.
So he doesn't want Arsenal. He doesn't care about Ray. Sorry, Ray. He doesn't care about you. But he wants the data contained within Arsenal, which somehow contains the identities of these 12 people.
Yeah, you find out through the second game that there's a secret cabal that has been operating for like years.
They work in the shadows,
like a century or something,
and they're very threatened by the digital age.
Yeah, it started out with like a bunch of
somehow
nations coming together, pulling their money. I think
somehow Y2K plays into this.
Yeah,
where they like data mined from out of Y2K.
Yeah.
They do a very like Bush era thing where like
I feel like this game came out in like 2000, but the setting is like 2007 in the game or something.
Yeah, and honestly, the vibes of this are 2025.
Sure.
It's like
ChatGPT.
Did Hideo Kojima predict that QAnon was going to be a thing? Like he definitely foresaw the danger of the internet. But
the weirdest thing is when like Snake pulls out his phone and he's like, "Hey Siri," and it's like, "What?"
For a second I believed you.
It's like, what's that rectangle he's holding? Why does it not have buttons on it?
What is this FaceTime he speaks of? FaceTime. So the game starts with Snake jumping on this tankard. It has Metal Gear Ray, which is the newest form of Metal Gear. So like the themes are very similar to previous Metal Gears. Oh, there's a new iteration of Metal Gear. We need to uncover it and defeat it. But that part of the reason, and I can't remember if Snake has an inclination of this before he gets on the ship, but it gets overrun by the Russians.
Yeah, so he gets on as soon as he gets on the ship, it's almost immediately overrun. By Russian operatives. They're Russian because they have weird accents and AK-47s. But they also have like that. I feel like it's a very unique like Russian camouflage too that they wear.
Right.
But they have like ski masks too. Isn't that like a weird like Russian army stereotype?
That's a Russian
like ski masks with a very unique camouflage and AK-47s.
Mm-hmm.
Boom, Russian.
Boom, that's Russian.
There's the bad guy.
In plain sight.
And I don't think it's like they're not technically affiliated with the Russian army. I can't remember who the person is. His daughter is the more interesting figure. Olga, who is also pregnant on this operation. Interesting.
Her dad was mad that she came on.
Yeah, she's like, get the hell off the ship.
Like, hey, come on. Hey, come on.
Come on now.
Even I have lines I won't cross.
Hey, step away from that tarp. Solid Snake's about to shoot it.
Yeah,
But so yeah,
There's
these
not
Russian.
a lot that happens. Let's fast forward a little bit because we're never
We're never
going
gonna
to
get through this.
Not a lot happens on the ship. You eventually get down to the bowels of the ship. The Russians have
I feel like
infiltrated.
the only reason the Russians come on board is so you have a reason to like kill enemies,
Right.
essentially.
Like,
Because like
you're not gonna
then
kill
you would be like fighting
you're not
U.S.
going to kill U.S.
military.
military. Right?
Yeah.
At least they wouldn't allow that. You get to the bowels of the ship. You get to see Metal Gear Ray. You got to take pictures of it because your intent is to do like a WikiLeaks thing where you're going to upload it to the internet and reveal the existence of this thing.
Mhm.
That whole presentation from the U.S. Marines gets compromised by the Russians, infiltrating this setting. And there are two objectives here. One is the guy who wants to bring Mother Russia back, like the Cold War.
Yeah, he wants to bring Russia back to prominence by
Olga's
stealing.
Olga's father
His
wants
father.
Ray so that Russia can become strong again.
Yeah,
And
so I think he's acting outside. Like he's not technically part of the Russian military. He's acting outside of the Russian military, but he's trying to steal it on behalf of his nation.
Right. He wants to bring he wants to be like Putin. He wants to bring the Cold War vibes back. And then there's our old friend, Revolver Ocelot, who is, we find out by the end of the game, is working with the Patriots.
Yeah, he's always double crossing someone.
You can't trust Ocelot. He's always got an ulterior motive. And there was one thing in your notes or something that he betrays Snake. I don't remember Snake working with him, but like
Doesn't mean like
somebody.
I don't know.
ChatGPT might have gotten this wrong, but I don't remember him working with Snake at all.
Doesn't mean like Snake, like Naked Snake.
Maybe he meant like Solidus.
Oh, so yeah, actually probably Solidus.
He's like Solidus does not know
Because Solidus is operating against the president. He's trying to
against the Patriots.
The Patriots.
Even
it's also weird that he was the president.
Well, that is kind of weird.
There's so many weird things about this game.
And one too, because I do remember he's like Mr. President or something like that.
So,
and Solidus was the president, and even the Raiden, when he runs into the current president.
So Ocelot at the very end of game 1 is a turncoat on Liquid, and the very end of game 2 is a turncoat against Solidus.
Right. Jumping forward, this military parade, like blah blah blah, like this meeting with the Navy, exposing Ray, or introducing Ray into the fold, doesn't go well. And eventually Ocelot is the one
just shows up out of the blue. He might have been technically supposed to be working with us operatives.
Well, he was working with the Russians, which is why Olga's father gets really pissed off because Ocelot betrays them. He's not.
Well, the one thing I remember from this ship sequence is a really cool moment where Ocelot kind of just does this quick trigger, pulls his gun out and kills all the Russians. I think.
Right.
I think including Olga's dad.
Yeah, he kills Olga's dad. Eventually, he gets into Ray. I think doesn't Liquid take? He's got Liquid's arm.
He's got Liquid's arm. This is the interesting thing about Game 2, which I feel like Game 4 tries to.
Was it Game 4 that explained that
Liquid
didn't actually take over?
Yeah, it's like a psychological thing. So anyway, Ocelot all of a sudden has a new hand. We remember he gets it cut off by Gray Fox.
Yeah.
In the first game, it was that robot ninja.
For some reason, he takes.
All of a sudden, he has a new hand. It's Liquid's arm. I don't know how he got it. Whatever. Somehow he gets Liquid's arm. He attaches it as his new arm. And somehow that makes him become Liquid.
Right.
Liquid's taking over his body.
Yeah,
essentially.
I don't know. It's very weird.
In Game 2, they don't explain it. You just kind of go with it. It's like, oh, you got Liquid's limb attached to him, and now Liquid is part of him and taking him over. In Game 4, they try to correct that by saying it was a psychological disorder from Ocelot.
It's so stupid. I don't even care. That's dumb. I hate that they try to explain that later on.
There's a lot of weird supernatural things because there's like a vampire later in the game too.
That I don't exactly like, and he gets shot in the head, and
I don't
he
totally
lives.
understand. Did they ever explain him?
I don't know.
They try. There are always like supernatural elements of Metal Gear
He
Solid.
definitely got shot in the head, and he lives. So like, there's something going on with that guy.
I feel like there are supernatural elements of Metal Gear Solid that they try to then ground in reality. So I don't know what his deal was. I don't know if that's ever explained.
The vamp guy, I don't know. I have no idea. So the tanker, the opening salvo of the game, the tanker thing ends with Ocelot / Liquid Ocelot jumping into Ray, busting out of the ship, sinks the ship. You think at the moment, like, you don't see Snake die, but there are references later on in the game that he died at that event.
Yeah,
and then that's the end of the intro. Is Ray busting out of the Metal Gear Ray busting out of the ship, and controlled by Ocelot. So Ocelot has essentially stolen Ray from the U.S. government.
Sorry, give me a second.
Okay, we're gonna give Ray a second, and because my memory is fallible, I'm gonna wait. Hey, get the fuck over here. Let's wrap this shit up. Now that we've talked so much about 2.
All right, sorry. I really had to go to the bathroom. All right, so...
Okay, so let's, like, fucking fast forward here, because we gotta get through this.
Yeah, holy shit. We really have not even gotten meat and potatoes.
We've, like, not even gotten into 2. Like,
we have not even gotten to.
And we've had a lot of, like...
We talked more about 3 than 2.
We've had a lot of, what happened?
Tangents.
How did this go? Well, I don't... yeah, so... Ray's walking away again.
Sorry. All right, so Tinkered happens, and then we get into the meat and potatoes of the game.
Okay, so we are now Raiden, which was a big controversy.
Mm-hmm. The sequence is essentially the same as the first game. You're like diving.
Look, we're jumping around with 2. We're gonna have to jump around with 2.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're not chronologically approaching this. You find out later on in 2 that they intentionally set this up to be a mock. Not really mock because his life is in danger, but like they set this up to be a Shadow Moses type of ordeal, the Patriots, to test if Raiden can be a good soldier.
He was already a child soldier, was also kind of weird.
And raised by, like, and trained
by Solidus.
Yeah. So,
you know, like, the weird thing about, like, I remember when they did the cutback scene of him being a child soldier in the game, it looked like he was holding a musket or something. I was like, wait, is he from, like, the Civil War or something? Like, is he?
I don't know.
I'm sure not. Like, if I replay the game, I'm sure it was just like him holding some other kind of weapon. But anyways, he was a child soldier that was raised by Solidus. Somehow he doesn't remember this.
2 is very, like, this. Honestly, the setting of the game, I think, is the best of any Metal Gear Solid game. Mm-hmm. There's just something about this. What is it called? Like the tank, not the tankard, but what is he on?
I don't know. He's on some like water facility.
Yeah,
it's so weird. And it like has bridges that lead to different platforms.
It's like this
hexagonal, like like it's like a bunch of hexagons connected by bridges.
Yes, I don't know. The setting's awesome.
Yeah,
I think it's awesome because it's so unique. It's like, oh, I've never played a game that had like a setting like this. It's so weird. Mm-hmm. Weird, but like awesome. Like, it's remote. Like, there's no way off this place. Eventually, you learn that.
I feel like I get lost all the time too.
Yeah, he goes in there thinking like Campbell again is lying. Like, Campbell's lying. Like he lied to Snake.
That's all Campbell does is lie.
He's lying, and you know, Raiden's thinking he's going to try to stop some ecological disaster because this is like a
Mhm.
This is like an oil mining facility out in the middle of the ocean. You think it is?
You think it is?
It looks like that.
It doesn't transform into anything, does it?
No.
For some reason, I always thought
under the water, it just contains all of these Metal Gears and also this AI.
Okay, I always like thought for some reason because like it's
maybe that's why it's in the water. You do hear nowadays that AI consumes a lot of water. It requires a lot of water to run an AI.
But it was called the real name of the facility was called Metal Gear
Arsenal. So like eventually, like
so
with,
maybe
like
I don't
with
know
Metal
why
Gear,
that
you
was
get,
why in my head like it always transformed into like a Metal Gear.
Yeah,
like, why is it called Metal Gear?
It houses a ton of them. It's weird because it houses a ton of Metal Gear Rays, but the more important thing is it has this weird like AI that is supposedly
part of the
controlling
this secret cabal.
This 12
Patriots.
Look.
It's so convoluted.
This is so... Metal Gear Solid 2, I remember
I watched the retrospective on this game, and we've played it as growing up like several times.
And I couldn't even... to this day,
I don't remember it.
I
can barely get through one. Like,
dude, playing Metal Gear Solid 2 multiple times through, and also watching as an adult the retrospective, to this day, I cannot completely explain to you what 2 is about.
No.
But it does have themes that are very important today because it's like, okay, there's this shadow group controlling things that happen in the world. It's like, that feels like today. AI is a threat, but AI that is monitoring and used against citizens to control the information they receive. That feels very relevant today. And yeah, just like, it's like Hideo Kojima like looking in the future and being like, "Oh, this is what the world's gonna like." This group of 12 is worried because the digital age is going to democratize information, and it's harder to keep the populace in check when the populace now is more informed. Yeah. So how can we disinformation? Yeah. Disinformation.
So the Patriots were trying to. Their goal is trying to control information and thereby controlling power.
The Patriots were the original QAnon.
QAnon, yeah, exactly.
They were like, let's feed them bullshit and keep them in the dark.
Yeah, it's like hey, they're like, hey, we just invented this thing called Facebook. Why don't you guys look at this 24 hours?
Why don't you go get your information?
Why don't you check this out? There's this algorithm. It's going to show a bunch of things you like.
Yeah.
Hopefully that algorithm leads you here. Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Hey, we got to push this content. You need to like. You need to subscribe. Keep us going. If you find us on Patreon, donate, please. And if you're a business looking to, give them a little money.
Your business who has too much money and you just need to throw some money away.
You need to offload some of that money.
Yeah.
You can throw it into our accounts.
Throw it in our direction.
Just give it to us. We'll take it. Keep us going. We were right now. This is a passion project. We would love this to be a
full-time thing.
A full-time thing. We're looking to, we're really looking to do this as a full-time gig.
We're trying to expand the Utropverse.
Look, we've already expanded this beyond the state borders by going into New York and filming an episode. If we go abroad and film, we're going to be international.
We're going to be international.
And
we haven't even posted anything.
And we don't know that Jeff Bezos is going to invite us up into space. We might become intergalactic.
We weren't invited to the Venice wedding, but hey,
we weren't invited to Venice.
When he gets divorced and then he gets remarried, maybe we'll be the next wedding.
There you go.
Anyways, 2 happens. Raiden
2 does happen.
Jumps on the scene. I guess it follows a similar pattern to 1.
Everybody's pissed off because they're not playing a snake.
Yeah, everyone's pissed off because a huge controversy. And leading up to the release of this game, they never showed any Raiden footage.
The cover of I was looking at
cover of the game. Yeah,
the cover of the game has Snake on it with his silencer gun thing.
I think Hideo Kojima intentionally did this. Like they intentionally misled you.
Yeah, I remember being so pissed off about this. Raiden eventually kind of becomes cool because they remake his character into a ninja.
Does he Yeah, I didn't follow Raiden after post this game because all of a sudden he becomes one of those ninja robots. But It's like, does he lose his limbs or like, what happens?
No,
to him?
I think he just does that because
Does he just have a robot suit?
Olga saves him
Mm-hmm.
and gives him his sword, gives him her sword, and tells him to like survive. And I think in honoring her, he gives up his guns and just uses the sword. He basically becomes the next Gray Fox in honor of her. I think of Olga.
Okay.
Because Olga dies and Olga's daughter needs somebody to take care of her. Anyways, blah 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 blah. It's very much like
very much like game one in the sense that there's this group
of
Dead Cell or something,
and they were a part of like
special
SEAL
ops
team, like the SEALs team or something.
Again, they feel betrayed by their government,
Right.
so they turn on them and they join up with
These
Solid
themes
Snake.
carry over from one game to another.
Yeah, exactly. Soldiers without a home. They join up with Solid Snake, who, again, in his own way, wants like an offshoot of Big Boss's dream.
Outer Heaven. Solidus
wants to expose the secret cabal.
Well, initially,
in a way, his goals were almost altruistic in a way because he's trying to expose like, hey, there's this group of people who are running the world.
Yeah, I mean, he is trying to like inform the public, kind of in a way, maybe not in the altruistic way that, I mean, he wants to do it, I think, a little bit more in a militaristic fashion, because they want to explode a nuclear bomb above New York, right? To deactivate.
They do, and they want to take over New York. Yeah,
right. So I mean, like, he's not approaching it in the altruistic way that Snake's
doing super altruistic. It's altruistic in like exposing that there's a secret group that's running your lives, but they're also like, but we want to get like our like, we're gonna cut off a little slice of New York for ourselves.
Yeah, right. We're gonna create Outer Heaven for ourselves. We're gonna take this over in a very like threatening way, but also like we're the good guys.
And also, I was once president,
and I was the president.
It's so weird to think about too. I think
a lot of shit from that game really hits home today.
I don't think I realized he was president until like after the game, and maybe I replayed it, or like I was watching one of these retrospectives, and I'm like, oh yeah, he was the president. Like, what? How do you go from like being raised as a government project, like a special ops, to then being the president, to then going back to that and trying to like, I guess, fulfill Big Boss's dream? Like,
he's like another disaffected soldier.
Yeah, but he's part of the government.
I don't know.
He was the government. He was the president.
Well, you do learn, and Raiden does run into the current president during the game, who also is like, democracy's not working, and he even wanted to increase his power against the Patriots. Like, Solidus is sort of the extreme end of the current president who dies after meeting Raiden is also very disaffected. Like, is also very much like, I hate the Patriots and I'm trying to rebel against them too. And I don't know. It's like a power trip. Like, they all want they are all dissatisfied that they are not the ones holding the power.
Yeah. I think the other thing that pissed fans off in this game is that you eventually meet the only SEAL team survivor, who is kind of your
and the SEAL team was like killed off by Vamp, the vampire guy.
Well, I think killed off by the woman who couldn't be killed, Fortune.
Right. Okay.
There's this woman who, like, whenever you shoot at her, the bullets just fly off. She
Which eventually this, like, you find out is just a gimmick, because
sort of magnet magnet. Sort of
Ocelot turns off that capability and kills her.
She had like ability that,
again, Ocelot betrays like you find out by the end of the game. We're jumping ahead because we got to get through this game, but you find out by the end Ocelot's actually working for the 12.
What did he get out of the game? I don't remember.
I don't know. You never really know what you never know what his motives are. I swear to God, Ocelot is one of the most obscure figures in gaming because his motives are never clear. Even to this day, having played that game, having played
several
3
times. And
yeah, I've
watching
played
this freaking
1, 2, and
retrospective.
even the early on Ocelot and 3. Like, it just never feels like he's on. You never know, even when he's working with you, that he's on your side. Like, his motives are always unclear.
He likes 6 shooters. And he likes to betray you.
Like 6 shooters, and he loves betrayal.
Mm-hmm.
There's some really weird things that happen in this game. Like, the setting's great. He's trying to be like Snake. He was a child soldier. He did a lot of VR training. Which the guy who
It's
does
so weird that you play as Raiden. Oh, sorry. I was saying you run into a guy. Solid Snake is posing as a one of the SEAL team
survivors.
members. He's the only SEAL team member to survive. It goes by the name Pliskin, which is a nod to Escape from New York,
yeah.
which is like, I guess, Big Boss and Solid Snake were like loosely based off of.
Makes sense.
I mean, if you ever play like any of the games with Big Boss has an eye patch, which, I mean, if you know the Escape from New York movie, you know there's that movie features a famous ex-Marine or Special Forces who has an eye patch as well. So loosely based off of that character, but which I heard they tried to get Kurt Russell, I think, originally to voice Big Boss.
Oh, Big Boss.
And he just wouldn't do it. But eventually went to who was
I
it?
feel like back then it wasn't as popular, but nowadays, like,
Who voiced him in Game 5? It was actor.
oh, you're talking about
24?
Game 5? Oh, I don't know.
I think they tried to get Kurt Russell for that, and he wouldn't. I think it was whoever the actor was in 24. Shit, what was his name? Fuck, I can't remember.
Actor in 20. Like 24 Hours, like that
That
TV
show.
Oh, I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
God damn,
I never watched that show. There's somebody we went to college with who never shut up about that show.
Yeah, I never watched it either.
Anyways, Raiden works his way through this facility.
Beats all those Dead Cell members.
Beats a lot of the Dead Cell members, runs into Snake. Eventually, Snake reveals himself to be Snake. Like, even though Raiden kind of has an inclination.
Which is what I was saying, like, pissed off players because, like, Snake was always around. So you could have played it.
You were pissed off because you were like, wait.
Snake's here, but I can't play him.
I started this game as Snake, and now I'm playing as this blonde motherfucker. Like, who is this fucking guy? I want to play Snake. And he was kind of girly, which I feel like always kind of like annoyed people. You know, it just felt like this is the protagonist.
It's also really whiny. The other weird thing about this game is like one of the people you talk to on the radio is his girlfriend.
Yes. And
they're talking. They talk about their relationship.
She starts
like throughout the
throwing
game.
shit out, and later in the game, the whole like codec system starts like malfunctioning, where like Campbell is like saying,
yeah, it's another like break the fourth wall moment.
Yeah, he's saying weird shit to you.
He's like, take the cartridge out of the game or something.
Yeah,
Turn off the console.
But then also Rose has these moments. Rose being the partner of Jack. Jack and Rose, very Titanic.
Mm-hmm.
Was that intentional? It's very Titanic of him. Rose has these moments that seem very ill-timed in the game, where it's like, okay, you're bringing this up now, like their relationship, like, is on the edge. Like, she's pregnant with his child, maybe, I don't know. Like,
then you later find out she was actually like an operative who was like meant to like keep an eye on him, and then fell in love with him.
But then she's allowed to be mad at him about the relationship. Like, she's like bringing shit up about the relationship when she like is like a double agent, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's 2 is so convoluted. 2 is like, it's a great game.
It's a great game, but it's also kind of a mess.
It is a complete mess. There's it's a data dump. There's so much information that's thrown at you in this game, where it's like, how would you keep this? This guy's retrospective
so many times. I feel like I don't really understand.
I watched the retrospective for MGS1, and I'm like, oh, he's talking about the pre-PlayStation ones. So when I got through that, I'm like, oh, the video for Metal Gear Solid 2 can't be that long. not as long as the first one because he's introducing the series. Nope, he talks for like 3 hours about Metal Gear Solid 3, about Metal Gear Solid 2, because it is so convoluted, and it's like the themes of the game are so grandiose, where it's just like, oh my god, it's like if you played that as a teenager, half of the shit I didn't understand.
Yeah, and then they introduce things that they have to clean up later, like, why does the fact that you're attaching Liquid's arm to your body, like, all of a sudden give you Liquid's consciousness? Like,
yeah,
because they even, like, when he would speak as Liquid in those moments in game 2,
and I think
they
Hideo,
use the actor's voice, Liquid's voice.
I think Hideo, in doing 4 and trying to correct that, I think he kind of was like, that was kind of stupid.
Yeah.
I feel like that was
he tried to ground it later.
That was an admission by non-admission.
Being a psychological issue.
I do remember reading that in 4, like, you could dive through the data, like, you could dive through there was like menu stuff, like with Metal Gear Solid 1, in Metal Gear Solid 4 in the disc, you could go through information, and that was somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Where...
Well, I remember you
would read it and you'd be like, oh, he had this symptom, like it wasn't actually Liquid taking control of him.
Yeah, like almost some psychological break.
Yeah, it was stupid. It was dumb.
But I mean, in 4, they maybe someone went overboard with it, because I feel like he had completely like disassociated from his previous self, and there are times where he refers to Big Bosses when he's talking to Solid Snake as our father. Like I've only played through 4 once.
4 sucked. I didn't like 4.
And
there was one cool scene where you were like crawling.
Yeah, I remember.
Or you were barely getting through.
Yeah, at the very end of the game where you're trying to like crawl through and shut something off. I don't know.
Yeah, that was cool. Anyways, look. At this point, we're not going to get entirely through 2.
How does 2 end? It's weird that Solid Snake never. Solid Snake isn't the one who has to confront Solidus.
Well, Snake jumps off Snake eventually leaves Raiden to go after the Liquid. He thinks Liquid is taken over.
Oh, really? I don't remember.
Yes, he like.
God, there's so much shit that happens in this game.
Ocelot steps in, and all of a sudden, Liquid's taking over his body, and Raiden and Solidus go to Manhattan. The game ends in Manhattan, on top of this Metal Gear Ray. Maybe you're on top of this structure, and you have to fight Solidus with your sword. So Raiden and Solidus go one way. Snake and Ocelot/Liquid go another way, because Snake is like convinced that Liquid is reborn, and he's got to go stop Ocelot, and he kind of like diverts from Solidus and Raiden. Anyways, the game ends with you as Raiden.
I remember like being on top of a building, like fighting.
You're on top
Solidus.
of some sort of structure, fighting Solidus. You kill Solidus, and Raiden is like with Snake before him. The game really ends with Raiden being a disaffected soldier.
Yeah.
You know, just like Snake before him, just like Big Boss before Solid Snake, just like the boss. I mean, the one running theme through all of these games is the disaffected soldier. Like, becoming like, you are a good soldier. You do the mission.
The thing like you were trying to fight against. I feel like
the themes of the game are very
are very profound.
Because they are like, even though there's a lot of shit that happens in these games that are not grounded in reality, and are sort of like silly to some extent. Like the lessons of the game are very much grounded in reality.
Yeah. And I mean, Big Boss and Solid Snake kind of mirror themselves. I mean, Big Boss is, he's not genetically made. He is a person who becomes this renowned soldier.
Right.
He's a soldier. He's trying to create a nation state, a place where true soldiers feel welcome, who might have been
Right.
let go by their nation or might have been thrown away by their nation. Whereas
Right.
Solid Snake is raised to be a soldier, who is someone who's just trying to find peace. I think he keeps getting dragged into these conflicts. He fights when he needs to, not because he wants to.
Right.
And he keeps getting dragged into these conflicts his entire life. He goes to retirement and then gets dragged out of retirement to go deal with the Shadow Moses thing. He's someone who keeps getting pulled into conflicts when he just is trying to find some sort of, I don't know, peace, I guess.
Oh.
He eventually it gets to the point where he, I think, makes it his mission to fight against Metal Gears.
Mm-hmm.
But he was kind of thrown into the soldier life, whereas Big Boss embraced that.
Well, Ray's family's about to walk in.
I feel like we gotta end this. I almost feel like we need to. Well, one day we'll reshoot this.
This has not been a good encapsulation of Metal Gear Solid.
No,
We've done our not best,
yes,
but we've talked about it. And Metal Gear Solid was an important part of our lives. It was an important part of our childhoods.
Mm-hmm.
We love the games. We love Hideo Kojima. We miss him. We miss the games that Konami used to produce with him. But we will venture on past Metal Gear Solid. And I believe the next time we are going to talk about we're going to revisit the world of film and talk about Alien. Maybe with our brother John.
A series that is very dear to us. Maybe with John, if we can film in Lisbon or Dublin.
If he has 3 hours to kill, because that's where the show is going.
It ends up taking.
It seems like we were like, oh, we're only going to film for an hour. We film for 2-3 hours.
Yeah.
Because we get bogged down in the details of things. But I would love for you to like. We would love for you to like and subscribe. Push us in the algorithms. I've been drinking Masthead out of this Bookhouse brewery glass.
Out of this Guinness glass.
Cheers. This has been Split Personalities. We have been your hosts. I'm Bob. This is my twin brother Ray. And join us next time. Cheers.
We might see you overseas.
Maybe we will see you abroad.
Cheers.
Signing off.